I'm reminded of a time when I was strolling through the village with Pete O'Toole and Gene Hackman. Pete had been drinking very heavily since noon the previous Tuesday, and he turns to myself and Dusty and said, "Oh, did I mention that Dustin Hoffman was there?" Because he was. Anyhow, he turns to us and says in that delightful accent of his, "Let's all go to the haberdashery and buy fancy hats." Students of the Actors Studio, I give you Miss Andie MacDowell. Welcome, Andie MacDowell.
Welcome, James. It is very nice to be here. I didn't know there would be so many peoples.
Andie, tell us what you did before you became an actress.
Before I
Andie,
became,
before you became an actress, Andie, you worked in a
Dairy Queen.
In a Dairy Queen restaurant. Andie, where was the Dairy Queen? Andie, where? Andie, tell us where the Dairy Queen
Asheville,
was. It was in
North
Asheville, North Carolina. Andie, Asheville, North Carolina. Andie, Andie, where your favorite dessert treat was. Andie, what was it?
M&M Blizzard.
No, it was the Snickers Blizzard. Andie, Snickers Blizzard. I hope our young actors are taking notes.
I should say
that you triumphed over a horrible eating disorder in the mid-1980s, and that you'd like to see a clip from your film Green Card. Andie, request granted.
Do you know what your living in this house has done to me? Do you? Do you? Didn't you know? Didn't you know?
Andie, you said in that film, I didn't know. I could feel so much. Neither could we, Andie. Neither could we. I should also remark that for that film, you didn't win.
Didn't.
And you didn't. Didn't. Did not. Didn't. Did.
Didn't.
That you didn't win an Academy Award. But I should let Andie speak for herself. Through her work in the film Sex, Lies, and Videotape Roll Clip.
You don't love me. I didn't know who you were.
This clip reminds me of a nature walk I took with one Sidney Poitier.
Furthermore, I didn't get a chance to know you.
We were strolling about admiring the marigolds when suddenly I was bit by one of nature's more peevish creatures,
you didn't
the spider.
want to communicate without the
I awoke
damn
later
camera.
in a state of dazed euphoria with Sidney sucking the venom from my inner thigh. It was the wrong thigh, and I awoke later still at Mercy Hospital next to a lovely fruit arrangement.
You didn't put
from
down the damn camera.
At this point,
I didn't know when I came on the show I would be treated so badly. I didn't know that you would be such a rude man to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've just given you Andie MacDowell. Andie MacDowell shrieking and running away reminds me of a weekend that I spent in Napa Valley with Bill Bixby, tasting wine. Bill had a very serious case of the trots and had retired to his room at the Shady Lanes bed and breakfast to take what he described as